Are live. What's up,
What's up?
Chris?
What's up? How you feeling
What's
tonight?
up? Tired as hell.
I seen that. Look, you even hit me with some cool shit. What's up? You ain't dip the head and everything. What's
What's up? Oh my gosh, how was your day?
My day was interesting. I'm doing some interviews right now for positions. So
Just
you
interesting.
know, look, I'm getting a little taste of what you normally deal with as well. So not too bad.
Okay. Okay.
You just never understand how people get in these positions sometimes to be able to apply, but that's life. They put anybody in positions nowadays. But I guess it's who you
Oh my
know.
god. Oh my gosh. Well, as the folks filter in and see what's going on here, I'm sure they see it's just me and you tonight. That Yvonne is not joining us, and it is
That's right.
because she's handling some family stuff, taking care of her grandbaby, her granddaughter. So, hoping that Miss
Yes.
Asia feels better. So, we're sending out all of our love and all of our prayers that you're feeling better. Okay, speedy recovery.
Also send some love to my sister's grandmother who passed this weekend, 90 years old. So that was pretty hard for my family, but at the same
Yeah.
time, she was a blessing to all of us, and also close friend as well. Richard's mom was in the hospital this weekend, but she's doing great. She's
Is
doing a
she?
lot better. At least that's what I heard last. She's doing a lot better.
Oh,
So just keep everybody up in good spirits. Every day is
oh
not
my
promised.
goodness. You're
But I
right. You're
appreciate it.
right. It's scary as you get older because of course you're still young, right?
Yeah.
But it's scary as you get older, and you mature and you're moving into your golden years, like where me and Yvonne are.
Yeah.
It's scary that you have to watch your loved ones and your friends pass on. Because it's just we know that none of us are getting out of here alive, right? But to be
Right? We don't
you
sit through that. Look, ain't no VIP entrance away from it.
exactly, but to watch your friends and your family pass on and transition, it's tough. It's really really tough,
Well,
but
I know I was telling people what was shocking to me was going to my 10-year anniversary and
mhm,
to watch how many of my friends' parents passed away. I
I
thought that
know.
was a trip. Like, that was
Yeah,
kind of trippy to me. And then it's like it makes you look at your own parents like, man, like, you good?
yeah,
Like, you know?
exactly. And I think about that because, see, at my age, Yvonne's age, we still have our parents,
And that's right.
and to see others who lose their parents is just devastating,
Yeah.
because I can't imagine being in this life without my mom. I can't because we talk every day.
Yeah.
It's just, but anyway, I don't want to get onto that.
Let's get out of that.
Yeah, that gets a little heavy. So
Yeah.
let's move on. So you came up with this topic,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
How black are you allowed to be?
Tony, it was something very frustrating I had to deal with last week, and I felt like getting it off my chest this week.
Oh boy. So tell me how you got into, well, tell me what it is that you have to get off your chest. Why?
Well, okay. I feel like as a black male, there's not a lot of flexibility in our careers to where we're able to say and do certain things to where it's understood at all levels. I can watch a white man say something and it's like it doesn't get taken as literal. And there's a little bit of a laugh, a joke, and it's just not as hard. But anytime a brother might say something and he stands firm, it's almost like, whoa, whoa. You're aggressive.
Well, right. But you know why, right?
Why is that?
Because over history and over history's stereotype or typo, the typing, we have been deemed as threatening, you know, or violent or potential for violence. So that's why.
Well,
I mean, I could probably tell somebody, fuck yourself. And they'd be like, okay, she's going a little crazy. But then when you say it, they're ready to call the police.
Oh, they think it's about to go down. Like, look, and I promised myself tonight I would not say a lot, because at the same time, I got to go to work tomorrow. But I'll be honest with you. I deal with a lot of people at my job that are so intimidated by anything and everything that I do. And I mean, I literally had this conversation last weekend with a couple of folks, because they came to me and they said, Chris, we just want to talk to you for a little bit. You know, we were getting some word that some people were feeling like you have your good days and you have your bad days. So I said, okay, so what does that actually entail? And they said, well, they feel like some days you're easy to work with, and then some days you're a little bit more
unapproachable.
Oh, that word was used as well.
Yeah, I can you believe I got written up for this? This was years ago.
How do you get written up for that?
I'm serious. Honest to God truth. Honest to God truth. For that particular thing. And I think I'm the most approachable person in the world, unless you pissed me off.
Yeah,
okay.
You get the wrath. I mean, that's
exactly.
But, so what happened was, you know, they came to me and they were saying certain things. So they said, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, it's not that you're in trouble. We're not coming to you because you're in trouble. We're coming to you because we just want to let you know what's being said. So then my question in return was, so did they say I'm not doing back full, or was anything said to where it looked like I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing? And they were like, well, no. But they just, you know, they were just saying how they felt. I said, okay, so basically, I just got hit with a lot of personal shit. And I'm able to talk like that because these are people that I'm comfortable with. So, they, you know, they received it.
Right.
You know, something bad. So I said, so basically, you're coming to me with a lot of personal shit. And they were like, we just kind of wanted to let you know what was being said.
But so why?
My follow-up was, okay, so I'm not sure what you're looking for. Like, I have a job to do. I understand why I'm here. Do they? Because I understand my approach, and I know why my approach is the way it is every single day. So within this conversation, I just began to notice, and then I finally just started getting real stupid and just being completely honest to these people. So I started telling them, as a matter of fact, I'll just go on and put it out there. It was my bosses. So anyways, so I finally ended up just being real blunt and saying things. The reason why y'all have a problem with me is because you know you don't control me. I know what I'm supposed to do every day when I come here. I never make you guys have to tell me what I need to do. I always come in, I make sure it's done. You never have nothing to say to me. The problem is that you know you have nothing to say to me, but you really want to say something to me. But you're afraid to because you know I'll say something back. Do you know they had nerve to tell me? They had nerve to tell me, well, you shouldn't say no. You should never say no in this business. You just redirect it and say, let me think about that.
Let me get back to you on that.
Right. First of all, what type of bullshit is that? I ain't got time for that stuff. I said, look, I am the ins and outs of this whole company. You send everybody my way. If I had to work and have to deal with everybody on their issue, I never get nothing done. So yesterday I was pissed off on my way home, and I came up with something. I said, I don't know, I'm going to get a shirt made or something like that. I don't care about your title. Unless your name is Jesus or God, you ain't shit. And I mean the core. I mean it to the core. I'm just saying. Because we can't just be treating because they have a title. I understand and I respect the title. But at the end of the day, you have a job to do just like everybody else.
Right.
The title don't mean shit when it comes to everybody doing their job.
But you know what? And that's the part that I think that infuriates me when we talk about corporate America. And especially when you are of color Because it's not just happening to Blacks, it's happening to Hispanics. You know, you don't see it happening as much to Asians because they go off, eat their little cheese sandwich, and they okay. And that's not to sound bad, so I don't want no emails. But I'm just being honest. But anyway, so
look, don't retract it. You said it. Keep going. You said it already. Just keep going.
But I think that there's a problem in corporate America because you allow us as Blacks, because it is the law, you can't discriminate against us. You allow us to work in that workplace, but we can't be ourselves. You're intimidated when we stand up and say, you know what, I don't agree with that. Or tell me more about what it is that you have a problem with, you know? Because then if it's like, if they even jump at the chance to tell you that they've got a problem with you, then they run the risk of getting cussed out. You know, but it's not like, you know, we're going to be all violent or anything like that. We're just going to make our opinion and make our comment. And we are hoping that you can respect it and you can maybe make some changes. That, not saying that you have to make changes just because Black folks are asking you to do it, but be more considerate in considering what the problem may be. That, you know, that's... Go ahead.
I've literally had to go to managers and tell them, look, do me a favor. Don't opinion every time I have something to say to you. Actually listen to what I'm saying and then form an opinion. Because it makes no sense that every time I'm working with you, you choose to always disagree with everything that I said. So at the end of the day, I must be incompetent, and I don't know how the hell I got in this role. Because you think I'm wrong every single damn time.
Thank you. I had a job like that, and I worked for someone like that. And that's the part that would infuriate me more, is that don't dummy me down for your sake.
Right.
Because obviously, if I'm in this position, there is something that tells you that I can do the job. Otherwise, my ass would have been gone a long time ago. But don't dummy me down for the sake of you being comfortable, you know?
Well, my question is, because I know that a lot of, but I'd love to hear from a woman's perspective as far as, because I know, see, you have it kind of bad because you not only deal with it because you're an African-American, but also because you're a woman.
Because I'm a woman.
In a man's type of world, and how we put it or how they put it. So my thing is, how do you deal with that as far as on the racial side?
You know what? A lot of times, luckily where I work right now, I don't feel racial tension.
Oh, good for you.
You know, and I can honestly say that where I am right now and the kind of work I do, I don't feel racial tension. Now, where I was working before, I'm going to say it, Orange County Transportation Authority. I felt it. Yeah, I felt it there, you know, because it was predominantly white. I think that the only Blacks that were there were filtered amongst the bus yards and different locations, and you had a higher concentration of Black workers who were bus drivers. But when you talk about being in the corporate arena, at the corporate offices, that's something different. You didn't have a high level of Blacks that were showing up in those positions. Because I can remember there was one gentleman that was there, smart as a whip, smart as a freaking whip. And I'll never forget him, because when I came into that industry, I knew nothing about transportation. Okay. And I learned so much from one boss that I had, and she was fantastic. She suggested I go back to school. She wanted me to get my degree. So I learned a lot from her, and it was one black guy. And when they made him upper level management, for those who know me and Orange County Transit, I'm open. I'm not going to say names, but when they had put him in the position of a general manager. He got so much shit. People talked to him like shit. They treated him like shit. They were ousting him from the moment that he had made that position.
I can imagine.
And I'll never and I'll never believe that the way they treated him was the beginning of his illness and led to his death. I truly strongly believe that. Yeah, to this day, this has been years ago, but to this day, I believe that a lot of the ways that he was treated led to his death. I really do.
Now, my question is, in you witnessing some of that, did you ever speak up on that, or did you ever feel like
I have? You know what?
You had to aid?
But certain things you just didn't say. Okay, and like I said, there's that difference between where I am now and where I was then. You know, I had my last years there at that organization. I had a new boss who I wouldn't dare take anything to. And the reason why is because I didn't cow down to her. I didn't kiss her ass to be liked. That's the one that wrote me up for being unapproachable.
Unapproachable. I would have loved to have been in that.
Exactly.
I still don't understand how you like do anything to get that. Like I want to know what you actually like. There had to have been a situation that you.
I'm gonna tell you what got me to that. I'm gonna tell you what got me to that is that I'm not. First of all, I'm not about bullshit. I'm just not. And then when I'm working, when I am conducting business, I'm not about bullshit. Right. You know. So don't bring me bullshit. If you know your place in this organization, and if you work for this organization, you know your job. Why the fuck are you bringing it to me when I'm not getting paid for it?
Exactly.
Okay.
I get you.
And then when shit falls apart, you want to come to me and say, well, if you had helped me on, no, it don't work that way.
I have
it. You know?
I know my job.
So when people would bring me things and want to throw things on me and take the credit for it, and it went from reports to the board, to the city, to the state, it went all this stuff. And I would watch them in these board meetings taking credit for my work. And then you want to treat me like shit? You goddamn right I'm unapproachable.
You damn right.
You goddamn right I'm unapproachable. But Toni, if you can write...
I had that situation just last year. And it's you're watching people take credit for something they have no clue on what they're taking credit on. They don't even know how it even happened. Research. I literally had a situation last year where I probably saved my company close to about $500,000, but in different venues. So I pulled all the paperwork, brought it forward. When it came to all the managers getting bonuses, they used it all. But see, this is the part where I probably would have got my unapproachable moment. I went to their asses during a meeting, during one of just their meetings, and walked in and said, I just have a question. Are y'all taking credit for my work? And then the lady says, oh, well, you know, we're all a team.
Oh, now you're a team player.
You did have to go through him.
You're breaking up, Chris. Oh, my God, you're breaking up. You know what? Wait, hold that thought. Because you're breaking up really bad right about now, I want you to go out and come back in. While you're doing that, then I'm going to mention the sponsors because I want your camera and your mic to be clear. So go out and come back in. So while we're waiting for Chris to come back, just let me mention that I really thank you for watching the show tonight and tuning in. Hey, Miss Sydney Green, how you doing? Miss Yvonne Baker is joining us here in the chat. Because she is taking care of family business, taking care of her grandbaby. Also, I just want to say hello and thank you for looking in on us tonight. Chris is ready to come back, but while he is coming back, I just want to mention our sponsors, SPMG Media, Miss Gina Smith, also FES Protection, Miss Stephanie Warren Jenkins, and also Urban Sentinel, Mr. Reggie Kearney. Those are our sponsors. If you want to learn more about our sponsors, head on over to our website at hottopicstalkradio.com, and you will find out about the people that support us so we can bring you these shows every week. So welcome back, Mr. Chris.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties there. Like, had to use those white words. It's just technical difficulties there.
So do you remember where you were leaving off?
Yeah, so what I did was I was so upset about finding out that the managers took credit for my work. I went in on one of their meetings and actually confronted every single one of them. And I said, well, you're taking credit for my work. And they're like, well, we're all a team play. We're a team and we all work together. I said, yeah, but nobody worked with me. I worked by myself. And then she goes, well, you worked with this person here and, he has to give approval. I said, he didn't do nothing. I told him what was going on. And then I asked him, I said, did you work on this? And he was like, doing all this stuff right here. And the thing was, it was real disappointing. But see, I like the way it happened because in that moment, it set the tone for who I am and what I was going to take. So from that point on, everybody understood. We can't fuck with him. Because he's going to come right back and say something.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like, I hate, and it's almost like I don't know if it's for all situations, because there are just some ignorant ass black folks that just be tripping just on sight. So I'm not vouching for those, because I was even telling my boy, let a black person come on talking about, my boss always be tripping on me. I only been late 3 times this month. Why you I ain't listening to that. You a sorry person. Get your ass to work on time.
Exactly. Then complain.
Right. So I'm like, I'm not advocating for people like that, but I mean, it's just, my whole thing is like, when we're at work, are we supposed to tone it down? Like, is there a level that we're supposed to turn it down?
Well, okay. So first of all, let me put some comments up here before we go on.
Okay.
Cindy said, unapproachable, welcome to my world. Yeah. But I think that being unapproachable is something that has been labeled to us when we know how to come to work and do our job and mind our business, so you get that when people don't understand that. Then she says, we came here to do a job and not be friends. I agree.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yvonne says, she says, I have that issue where I work right now and they are predominantly black. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That's different.
Right. But see, at the same time, I did have to explain to somebody this week. Every black is not the same. It depends on the background, because a white person from Orange County versus a black person from Orange County versus a black person from LA.
From LA.
Different backstyles, lifestyles, their backgrounds, they don't understand each other. We're not the same. Right.
And see, the thing is though, like, I only had that issue with Orange County Transit.
Well, Orange County is just a racist neighborhood.
I only had that issue. And I'm going to tell you this story. And what really, really set the tone for me, because I was like a workaholic. Still am. Yvonne can vouch for me on that, because it would be times she would say, why are you going to work and it's either your day off, or are you going to take your vacation, or it's a holiday? Why are you working on? She would say it because we worked in the same place in different capacities. But it was an incident that set things in stone for me. Okay. And when I was working there, it was customary. They have, Christmas parties. Your bosses would invite the team over for dinner, things of that nature, and you bring something. Well, I'm not ashamed to say, when it was one year, I was having some financial issues and some financial difficulties. Things were hard to pay for. I couldn't afford to go out and do extravagant things. And this particular year, I think it was for Christmas. She had invited the team over to her house, right?
Okay.
And she said she put this list together of who was bringing what. And so she came over to me or the list got to me and I didn't sign it. I didn't put anything down.
Typical black people shit. Don't want to sign up for nothing but eat up everything.
No, and it wasn't that way at all. So having financial difficulties, I wasn't going to go out and spend money for food for someone else's home when I had to feed my own.
Oh,
okay. All right. Like I said, I was having some financial issues.
Yeah, but you were gonna go?
No, I wasn't gonna go.
Okay, then yeah, you didn't need to sign that.
And so when I had, she asked me about it. I told her, I said, well, I don't think it's a good idea that I come. I said, I'm having some, and I was being honest. Never bit my tongue, never lied about anything. I said, I really don't think that it would be a good idea. I said, because I'm having some financial issues and I can barely put food in my own home.
Yeah.
Then put food in your home. And she said, well, it's a potluck. And I said, I get that. I said, but I am down to my last of whatever it was. And I have Christmas gifts and, so I had to make it from that
time of year.
Exactly. So what sealed it for me when I told her this was her response.